Welcome back to 5 Minute Knives, the channel that's starting to wonder if it too is AI. Today, we're going to be talking about a company I had some dealings with that fell through called Skyrim Wrist that I ran across on Instagram. They mod like these Seiko watches that you're seeing on the screen here. This is their website. And being new to watch collecting, I only have about 5 watches so far. Something I'm building up for like my kid's inheritance, plus I think watches are cool. I stumbled on this site. So check it out. These are all the Seiko versions that you could get, and I think that's kind of neat. They have a showroom in New Hampshire, I think, something like that. I'm really interested in these like Royal Oaks, and there's like the showroom. You could sit in the chairs there. You know, one of you could sit in one chair, the other one could sit in the other chair. That's pretty nice. Look at your watch. Give them 300 beans. You know, everything's about $300, by the way. And you can design your own, which drew me in, because I'm like, cool, I want a red dial. Like, here's a mod Seamaster, you know, looking very fancy, very nice marketing. By the way, I've run into a ton of watch modding companies just like this, with websites just like this, with all the same parts at all the same prices. I'm shocked at how many of these things there are. I just got on Instagram this morning to get some more info, and there was a trillion of them. Okay, here's the all-American staff. Yeah, these guys are very happy putting your watch together. Now, a couple things they don't tell you. One, when you get a wadded watch, Seiko's not going to touch it for a warranty. And Seiko's, historically, from what I'm told, need servicing. Every couple of years, every 4 years max, they need servicing. Seiko won't touch it. So you're paying for that. So that's a hidden cost. Plus, you're going to be spending a lot more. Also, the materials and the parts, I don't think they're using all Seiko parts. I think these parts are coming from China. You know, they're getting them real silly cheap. Processing times here, you know, going into their shipping. The other thing, too, is with the returns, everything, the packaging has to be perfect for you to send it back. I have a feeling you're going to get screwed on that, too. Anyway, my point is that the parts all in probably cost them very, very, very little, you know, and then they put them together. Plus, you can mod your own stuff, too, I found out. It's not that hard, really. You can get a little kit, you can get all the parts, you can probably put these same watches together for cheap, cheap, cheap. And I mean cheap, cheap, cheap. But if you're lazy, like I am, and you want somebody to do it for you, well, good news. There's 10 trillion companies all doing the same thing with the same mods for about the same prices. $220 to $320. That's what you're going to be paying on all these. You know, and I was interested in like the Royal Oak series, for example. I wanted the red dial. I thought it looked pretty sharp. I actually reached out to them because I didn't know much about it. I said, hey, I like this watch. Why don't you go ahead and send me that, and I'll go ahead and make you a video. And I know what that seems like to you non-YouTubers, but you got to understand how much marketing costs. And a YouTube video is a free evergreen ad. Most companies spend about 10% of their profits at least on marketing. Some more, some less, but about 10%. That's a lot of profit going to marketing. The rest of us have YouTube channels. That's how I promote my site and all that. So these companies, you know, when we reach out to a company saying, hey, send us a free thing, it's not like we're bums looking for some kind of handout. You know what I mean? We're hooking them up big time, you know? And then let's get into my emails with this guy. So this all-American company, there's Fei Tang, who said he'd send me a watch. I said, okay, cool. You know, he had some demands. I'm like, all right, fine. They wanted to get into it more. And then at the last second, they bailed out. And that's fine. I don't really care. With the exception of, it kind of made me curious. Well, why? You know what I mean? Why did they bail out? So I looked into it. They don't want me showing this stuff to you guys. They don't want anybody digging in to their business model. They don't want people showing their products, you know, up close that, you know, it's not edited in a way that favors them. If there's something weird, you guys know that you'd see it. And I think they freaked out. And he said, no, well, it looks like most of your stuff is knife content. It's like, well, yeah, it's 5 Minute Knives, stupid. You know, like, when did that occur to you? And it's like, I figured out what happened. These people panic. It's a shady business model, I think. And the more I look into it, the more I'm like, this is sketchy as all hell. Now, modding watches, you want to mod your watch, whatever, that's on you. You know, you can get parts for that. I actually think it'd be a fun little hobby. But the companies that spring up left and right, they're all over Instagram. As soon as I started scrolling, they just popped up like freaking wet gremlins, man. And then I started looking at their sites, and they're all the same sites, all the same watches, all the same pieces. You know, very few differences. Some deal with chronographs, some deal with, you know, some have the red dial that I like. but I find that royal oak on all of them. You know, I look at that fuck 9 to 5 watch, that's everywhere. So it's like Seiko won't touch it. You're spending way more than you should on parts that you don't know if they're Seiko parts or not. They say they are. I don't believe them. I think they're getting it all on pennies on the dollar. They're paying somebody $20 an hour to put them all together. And that's that. You know, they ship them out to you. They're making a mint. And it's fine. Make a buck. Don't get me wrong. But what does this do to the watch community? It's sketchy. This is kind of like when you guys freak out about like a knife clone that I show on the channel. I get it, but not all of us can afford, you know, the $300 Benchmade or care that much about the bailout design, right? I don't care that much about the bailout design. I was mildly curious about it. You know, mildly curious about the Benchmade bailout, but not $300 curious. You know, handled it a couple times, said, okay, whatever. And then here comes a company, R Black, asked to send me a free clone. I was interested. So that clone of the bailout, you know what's funny? I carry that all the time, and people freak out about that. And it's like, I don't know. I mean, it's 75, 80 bucks and imperceivable differences. Nothing's broken yet. Action just as smooth. Weight the same. Everything the same. Slight, you know, different steel. Okay. I mean, not all of us can afford 300 beans for a pocket knife. But this modding thing goes the other way. This is taking something that could be cheaper and making it more expensive while also voiding a warranty and hurting the manufacturer at the same time, and misrepresenting themselves in the marketing. So this is more sketchy to me than like a clone of something. There's homage watches. I have a review coming out on a Militato watch that's kind of like a Hamilton homage, and you can get these things for like 50 bucks. And I've been kind of drooling over a few Hamilton khaki designs, but I didn't want to spend $1,000. You know, so I got the Militato, or if I'm even saying that right, I got the Militato just to see if I like that 38mm dial. And I've been wearing it for a few weeks now, and I freaking love it. You know, I think it's great. So here's the good workers over at Skyrim Wrist, putting your stuff together in the New Hampshire storefront. Good, honest Americans. And I just think that it's kind of like a front. It's a thing. And you can do it yourself. That's the other thing too. So take all these cheap components, you put them together, and what do you all in 70 bucks for the same thing? Or go to Skyrim Wrist, pay $320, get no warranty, no quality control. If the packaging's dinged up, they're not going to take the return apparently. It's sketchy. And if it wasn't for them pulling out of our deal, I never would have thought about it. I just would have looked at the thing and showed you guys the thing. It would have been smarter of them just to send the watch, because I would have been like, oh, cool watch. And probably wouldn't have delved too deeply into it. You know, like we all like architect knives and the knife connection, because we can kind of pick our colors of handle and sheath and blade steel in some cases. Semi-custom stuff is always neat and kind of fun. You know, I'm all about it. I love choices. It makes me happy too. But with this modding thing, there seems to be another layer. So I need you guys in the comments to kind of crystallize how I feel on this, because I'm not really sure. I'm up and down on it. It's $51.49. Is this a good thing? In my head, I can't tell. But there seems to be something sketchy going on with this modding small business thing that keeps popping up. They all have about, 10,000 followers on Instagram. They all have the same stuff. What's going on here? Can somebody explain this to me? I'm new. So that's what I'm getting at. I think I'm going to steer clear of it from now on. And I just want to bring in the subscribed Starians. Thank you for supporting the channel. We do appreciate you. All you guys get 15% off all sheath orders. So I appreciate you guys. You guys are great. Keeping the channel going. Love yous. And then as far as like being like a company, I don't mind you send me stuff. I don't care if it's a mod. I don't care if it's a clone. I'll show it because it's interesting. I'll show my audience. If it's something interesting, we're going to talk about it. This is a discussion channel. I don't know how I feel about certain things. And this is one of those kind of gray areas where I'm like, this is weird. And this company acting weird with me at the end got me looking closer. And the closer I looked, the less I liked it. Anyway, that's it for me. Just a discussion video. I want to hear from you guys. Help me work out my thoughts on this one. Give me more info to work with. You watch people that have been around longer. And I'll see how I want to tackle this moving forward on the channel. What I want to show. I have a few watch reviews coming up, but they are from the companies that make them. I do have an homage coming up. So we'll see how you guys feel about that. But other than that, I just wanted to kind of clear the air on this about how confused I am about this part of the community. But that's it for me, and I will see you guys next time right here on 5 Minute Knives.